who's here. If an order was entered into where we could open Pod C today, Mr. Jenkins, are we ready? Except for the flooring.
And the cameras.
And the cameras.
Yes, sir.
We could actually open it today.
Right.
Okay. Are you having to judge from the bench when the officers bring to you, or have you noticed the fact that they are doing more field releasing, so that's not even getting to you?
That's happening as well. Because, all of us have been given the word.
So obviously the criminals have the word too.
Yes, they have the word. They have the word. And, we can't do anything. We can't do anything.
That should not happen. Thank you, Mr. President. Supervisor Brown.
Yes, sir. Let me first say that by no means am I here to point a finger, because if I did, I would have to point it back in this direction. But as a board, and when we look at our criminal justice system, we have a system where if the left hand doesn't work with the right hand, we have a lack of coordination. And as a board of supervisors, I can tell you that we are committed to working with all aspects of our criminal justice system. That is the judges, the DA, the public defender, the city of Jackson, and all of the other surrounding municipalities. Right now, we are under a court order. Part of the stipulation of that court order says that we cannot put any inmates into Pod C until such time that the staff has been, until such time that we have a director for the center, and we have Miss Russian. It's not Miss Russian, Miss Ryder. Miss Ryder. That we must have a person in, and we have Miss Ryder. She is working very consciously and expeditiously to provide the necessary things that will assist this board in getting Pod C open. That is, getting radios for the employees, getting cameras, training the employees, what have you. And I understand the judge's court order in that we cannot continue to place inmates in jeopardy when we don't have our act together. And here again, that is to provide a safe and secure facility for housing the inmates. But in doing so, you have to have a facility that's operable, safe. Then you have to have your staff trained, and the sheriff's department is also doing that. But right now, our hands are tied until the staff people are trained. Once they are trained, then we will open up Pod C. However, we have other pods that need to be rehabbed. And this board will move forward in rehabbing those pods. We are also looking at a modular concept that will provide extra bed cells, and I have not heard back from staff as of today on the follow-up. What all it would take to implement that concept. So we're waiting on staff to do that. But I can say that this board is committed to working with the criminal justice system, to work with you and all of the other municipal judges, work with the city of Jackson and all of the surrounding communities, and trying to solve the problem that we have with inmate overcrowding. go back and continue to build more jail space, which we cannot afford at this time. So we're going to have to work within the framework, work within the existing funds that we have. We have problems all over the place, and everybody consider their problem a priority problem. But we are committed. I'm just as frustrated as you are. I wish we can open up Part C, start putting the inmates in there, because the longer that we can't move inmates into Part C and we can't move inmates into Part A and B, that's costing us a lot of money, because it's costing the taxpayers a lot of money. And as long as we have to house inmates in other counties' jails, that's really a tab that's, as they go, ching, 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 it's a lot of money. And again, I think the frustration is just all over the place. I'm sure the citizens are frustrated, just as we are. But we're trying to work through those problems within the confines. We have some. We're in confinement. I will put it like that. As a board, we are confined. So we're trying to work within those confines to solve the problem. And I appreciate you coming over here this morning to voice your concern.
If I might add, I understand the detention center has a contract also with MDOC. And I've been told by the court administrator that we pay the detention center $25 a day to keep one of our detainees. And the state pays $35 a day. So you can begin to see where, I see you are walking sitting in the audience, I always told me to follow the money. You can kind of see, you can see where that's going. If they're getting $25 a day from us and $35 a day from MDOC, their first priority is going to be MDOC, but still they have a contract with us. And we fall into the same situation. When we send our detainees to Yazoo, Copiah County, or wherever, they would take them Rankin, wherever, we have to pay them $35 a day when our budget only allows for $25 a day. So it's costing us money if we try to get beds in other counties. But we are in Hinds County, and Hinds County is saying to us, we get $35 from the state and $25 from you, so you know where our priority is. So,
Judge, we thank you for coming and sharing with us, again, your direct experience that you're dealing with and things you're facing. This makes my 7th meeting that I have participated in as a supervisor. And from the very first meeting, we have taken some action to help correct the problems that you have addressed at every single meeting. So we are working. I do understand it does not appear or seem that we're working fast enough, but we are addressing all of those issues that you have laid before us. We've taken all of those issues under consideration. We've had to make some very difficult and costly decisions. And again, that's just in the 3 months that I've been here. So I will. You can check the record. Every meeting we have addressed this issue, and we're trying to resolve it. The message that I would like to send clearly to the community is not that the end is closed and we can't take no more. We want to send a clear message that there's plenty of room in the end. If you're going to do those actions that require you to go to jail, we want to make sure there's room for you, because a handful of people basically can strike terror in an entire community or area because they know there's no severe consequences to that. So it is my position and desire is that we send a clear message. If you choose this life, if you choose this direction, we'll do whatever we can to help you prior to this, go in this direction. But if you choose to physically harm somebody or take somebody's possession, then you are basically going down a road of destruction. And we have to do what we can as elected officials to protect the innocents. And so I want you to be aware of that this board is doing something. It may not be in the public, it may not be known. Some things we have to do, and we can't let it be done in open sessions here, but we have been working. Every meeting we have discussed and or taken some type of actions regarding the jail, the situation, the overcrowding, how we're going to address future actions, and as of less than 30 days ago, appointing the jail administrator and even dealing with personnel to help assisting in opening up another division of the unit even before Part C and the other parts are renovated. So we are aware of it and we are working on it. We do thank you for bringing it to our attention as well.
Again, I appreciate you. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Calhoun?
Yes, sir. I wasn't aware that some members of the Sheriff's Department are still here, but I would like for them to address the statement that was made concerning the state paying $35 per inmate per day. I don't want misconception to go out into the public that that's what we're doing, because we're not, even though that may be true on the paper, but that's not exactly what we're doing, Judge.
I don't know exactly where those numbers came from. While we do receive revenue for the state for our state inmates, and those are the inmates at the county work center, as far as any monies being paid by the city of Jackson to the to the Hinds County Board of Supervisors, I know that payment is in the form of millage. So we'd have to go back and review what the equivalent of that millage is per inmate. But from my understanding, yes, we do receive revenue from the state for housing state inmates at the work center. But the work center, of course, was a facility built for state and county resources, whereas the Jackson Detention Center and the Raymond Detention Center are built for pretrial detainees, including those in the city of Jackson and other municipalities all over the county. So I'd have to see what that millage is we receive from Jackson per inmate to see if it's actually the 25-35 breakdown.
And will you, again, reiterate that the purpose of the state?
Yes, the purpose of the work center is the state, county, the county state work center was a facility, of course, built by the state and the county in general for minimum security inmates. And those inmates are brought to the county by the state. And they are, of course, as we know, revenue generators for the simple purpose of those inmates. MBOC pays Hinds County a certain amount per inmate for those. In addition to that, those inmates are sanctioned to work out throughout the county, saving us money in the sense of revenues through, trash collection, things of that nature, plus at different organizations they work for. So they are a revenue generator for the county.
And they work in the city of Jackson. Probably mostly.
Yes.
Yes.
This is true.
Thank you. Administrator Davis and Supervisor Graham.
I also wanted to make sure the judge was aware that the county has been reimbursing the city of Jackson for relocating their inmates that are located in the surrounding counties.
Well, I'd have to get with the court administrator to get any other type of figures, but I know exactly what I've been informed because I asked. And again, I went directly to the sheriff's department to get information. So, the information I got basically was that we don't have any room, deal with it. And that's why I'm here today. That's the type of response I got. And as a judge, I'm just not in a position to take a response like that and say, okay, well, we'll just let people go. Or I'll just give bonds that I know that maybe this person shouldn't even have, so that they won't send them back to us. And I'm saying to you quite directly that my court administrator has said to me, as I'm sitting on the bench, Raymond won't even open the door for us. When we send them there, they won't even open the door for the officer who's bringing them there in the car. So we have no choice but to keep them. And we don't have space for them.
Supervisor Graham.
Judge, to summarize your discussion, you need immediate action.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Supervisor Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. On item number 2, we did that through the supervisor. Calhoun honoring Mrs. Dolores Orey. You got to mention people like Ariel Bowman and Ada Henry because Ms. Orey she was a warrior. And, Dr. Henry led the NACP for a long period of time. And people like Ariel and Ms. Orey right there with me every step of the way. Mr. President, I'm going to hold family court because we're still, and I need to get something, some members of this body concerning why we must have it financed. We must have a family court even for some pilot project from the state to try to save some of these young people. The discussion of YMCA, I don't think we had the person to come from the YMCA, so we'll hold that. But finally, Southwest Airlines leaving Jackson, maybe it was airport, it's slowly approaching. And I have the resolution that we're going to vote on, but I want to try to get $30 grand at least, and I don't know someone from Southwest. Oh, come on, look, I'm sorry. This is a serious issue in this community. Once Southwest Airlines leave, a number of people fly to Houston, Texas for medical care. And we need to, and that's what this resolution is about, trying to encourage Southwest Airlines to change their mind. Now, I understand they're going to Branson, Missouri, and they have all kind of other activities there. But again, when we first got them to stay, at the time, I think Trent Lott was Senate Majority Leader and those kind of things. So we got to put pressure a little bit everywhere else. Yes, sir, I'll let you introduce yourself. Yes,
Good morning, Mr. President and the board. My name is Gene Moore. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Jackson Municipal Airport Authority. I'm here this morning representing the authority.
And third, Mr. Vanderleest is out of town.
Yes, Mr. Vanderleest, since his regrets, could not be here today.
Well, just kind of tell us now, when is Southwest Airlines scheduled to stop flying into the airport?
They are scheduled to stop flying in the airport in June, this June.
And is there, I know other people talking, can we get other municipalities, everyone else, counties surrounding, to try to pass a resolution to encourage them not to stop flying here?
Yes, sir. Mr. Vanderleest has continued open dialogue with Southwest, and this resolution is timely because he will be flying out next month to meet with Southwest Airlines to get them to stay. We're working hard behind the scenes to get them to stay here. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, again, can nothing fail but try. But we lose Southwest Airlines. I know the others said we might get someone like JetBlue or somebody else, but we might not. So I'm hoping that we can encourage them to say. So I so move that we pass a resolution and encourage Southwest Airlines.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much for commenting. Let the third know we're getting the final force so you can take it down with it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Next on the agenda is County Administrator.
Good morning. First item under County Administrator is relative to unclaimed bodies. However, there are none for consideration today. The next we have Ms. Patricia Furr, Executive Director of Jackson Heights Library System, who would like to present to the board.
Good morning, Mrs. Furr. Good morning. State your name for the record.
My name is Patty Furr, P-A-T-T-Y-F-U-R-R. I brought a PowerPoint presentation. Is it possible that I could show it? Or?
How long is it?
It's relatively short, but I can summarize it if you prefer.
It's a pleasure to board. Well, I use it. Mrs. Furr, why don't you walk from? while she is setting up, we will go on to the next item on the agenda.
The next item, we do not have any personnel issues, so we can bring forth Mr. Clarence Williams, Director of Human Capital Development, with several items for your consideration.
Who's going to be the podium for that one? You would call, are there any items for purchasing?
No, sir.
Budget and finance?
We do have items from Budget and Finance.
And Ms. Woods got that. For the grants, Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's going to be much debate on them. Could we not get her, come to see her to take with the county administrator?
All right, that will be fine. Thank you, Supervisor Stokes. Mr. Clarence Williams, you would come to the executive chair over here.
I have several items for your consideration. The first one being a resolution to apply for a 2013 Home Investment Partnership Grant from the Mississippi Development Authority. The grant would allow for the reconstruction of up to 5 homes.
So moved. It has been moved. It's been properly second. Any questions? All in favor, sign aye.
Yes.
Motion passes.
A resolution to authorize and hold a public hearing on the county's proposed home investment partnership grant application and to authorize the publication of the notice. MDA requires that this be published in the Clarion Ledger, so I'm requesting that we do both the Clarion Ledger and the Jackson Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Third, a resolution to issue a request for proposal for application preparation service for the proposed home investment partnership grant application and to authorize the publication of RFP, also in both the Clarion Ledger and Jackson Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
A resolution to approve, adopt, and implement a Section 3 action plan for this particular program.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
A resolution to approve, adopt, and implement an affirmative marketing and minority business and women business enterprise participation plan.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution to authorize an advertisement for bids for the construction of water distribution improvements for the Eastside Water Association and to authorize the publication of that advertisement.
So moved.
Jackson
Second.
Avenue.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
She's ready.
She is ready. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Ferg. Thank you for allowing us to deviate just a little bit while you sent that up as well.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate the time. Recently, I believe you had some demonstrators who came and presented some what I consider misconceptions or misinformation to the board, and I'm just here this morning to show you some statistics and show you what is actually happening at the library. So, one of the things that's very important for everybody to understand is that we're an equal opportunity employer. We do not discriminate against any of our employees or potential employees. We've had a long record of equal opportunity hiring. Carolyn McCallum, the previous library director, was one of the first African-American librarians in the state. And certainly Charlotte Moman, who has been integral to these hiring processes. Both of them have done an excellent job. The ratio of black to white employees when I came was 66% to 33. Since I've been hiring, it's now 75 to 25%. So we certainly are not discriminating in our hiring processes. All our hiring decisions are made by a committee of 3 persons, myself and 2 other employees who are black. And a veto by any one of the 3 means that the person isn't hired. So Charlotte Moman and Burnett Nichols, the HR person, I depend on them very heavily in hiring decisions. We value our employees. We want their experience to be a very positive one. Charlotte Moman, the Assistant Director of Public Services, is in charge of all the branch staff scheduling. She approves the schedules every week. We want all our employees who work 8 hours to earn their 1-hour lunch and 2 15-minute breaks. I can tell you I'm pretty insistent upon that, and if Ms. Moman is aware that someone isn't getting their breaks, then all she has to do is make the HR director and myself aware of it, and we'll certainly work with her to get that fixed. We offer staff training 3 times a year. Previously, customer service training was the only training that was offered to anyone, and all staff had to take it, and they did this quarter after quarter, year after year. They really weren't trained in much except customer service. And since I've been there, I've tried to make sure that the federally required training in drug-free workplace, sexual harassment were offered, and of course we're working on anti-bullying and safety training. Safety training is so important. Customer service training is still required for all new employees and anyone at this moment thinks needs it. The library grievance process is available to everyone. The only thing we ask is that the aggrieved person make go ahead and make the grievance on their own behalf. The individual who was here and spoke to you was trying to make grievances on behalf of other people, and our board attorney just won't let me allow that under our policy. We certainly have a complaint procedure. Anyone is certainly welcome to complain, and I deal with all complaints promptly. We do have some good news at the library. When I came, one of the reasons that the board wanted to hire someone with a technology background was so that we could advance the technology at the library. We had an aging server that was in a programming language that couldn't be easily updated. No more advances were being made, so we migrated that this year to a state-of-the-art Oracle system. We have a service option that allows anyone to communicate with the company and immediately tweak things that need fixing. Coming on February 15th, and this is a project we're very proud of, we have a new state-of-the-art catalog, online catalog that's coming out. It's going to appeal to all ages, but particularly to young users. It has a Google-like search interface and social media integration. And we'll have email and text message delivery for library overdues and holds. And we're even planning on sending out a 2-day pre-overdue notice to let you know your books are coming due in 2 days. I think that's going to be very popular. When I came, the auditor's report to the library did include some recommendations for improvements in what we do at the branch libraries. We are writing all of our cash transactions down by hand, and it was very possible that the cash could have been diverted. So I thought it was very important that we have some accountability. So we have a new point-of-sale cash management system that's coming in April. The system will allow credit card payment both in person and online. And it will also tighten that internal control because we'll be getting reports from the system every single day when the branch manager is wrapping up the day. We also, and this is very exciting, we'll have a new website soon. I love Miss Welty, but that is not the most attractive picture of her that I've ever seen. And our website has been the same since 1998, I understand. So this change is very much needed, and we hope to have that new system up and running in May, if not before. Other projects that we're working on, I've been working with the Jackson Public Schools on an initiative so that when a child registers for school, we want to see the parent who's there also get a library card for that child. So I've been meeting with the school system, and we hope to have that in the works by spring. We want to have online library card sign-up so that you can go online and enter your information and then come by the library and pick up your library card. We hope next year to have online meeting room reservation, online library event reservation, and online reservation for the summer reading program, as well as a virtual online summer reading program. You know, the library has to change. With working parents, they don't have time to bring the child. Most of them work, and a lot of kids are missing out on a very valuable summer reading program. So we hope to have a virtual online version of it so that kids can participate at home by computer and in the evening or whenever they can log on to enjoy the summer reading program. I was able to visit all 15 library branches within the first 6 weeks I was here. I did an in-depth maintenance and safety concern survey of those branches. I found that there were 5 city libraries that had extensive roof leaks. We had buckets in the ceiling. When I asked the employees, how long have these buckets been in the ceiling? They said 2008. And I said, 2008? This is not good. There was mold in the building. Eudora Welty Library had quite a mold infestation. And so I worked with the city, and we were able to get the 5 libraries, Medgar Evers, Charles Tisdale, Richard Wright, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Eudora Welty, dried in with a temporary dried-in roof, and crews came into the library to perform extensive cleaning with biocides. We hired Servpro to do some work at Eudora Welty, and I can tell you that the libraries, all 5 of them, smell better. The employees and the patrons are much happier, and these libraries are in much better condition. The city will be coming in later, we hope, within the year, to have permanent roof repairs and replacement done. We had 2 exciting disasters this year since I've been here. We had a devastating flood in the Byram Library that put 4 inches of water on the floor. When they came on Monday and opened the door, the water just came cascading out of the building. We had to recover from that one, had to close the library for about a week. We were able to do that, and we had a sewage flood at Eudora Welty Library that came about when one of our patrons flushed a pair of boxer shorts down the sewer lines, and that went about 40 feet and backed up sewage into the meeting room, offices, the kitchen, in the meeting room. It was quite a mess, and it took us almost 2 months to clean up from that. I can tell you it's all been cleaned up and repaired, and the restrooms have never looked better. The library carpets had not been cleaned in the 3 largest libraries, William Morris, Eudora Welty, and Quisenberry, for I don't know how long. This photo is from Quisenberry, so those carpets have all been cleaned, and we have a systematic program now where all library branches will have their carpets cleaned at least 1 time a year and more often if needed. This is a photo of a very exciting project that we've been working on with the West Side Senior Group. You know, they needed a place to meet, and funds were not available to build a meeting place for these seniors, so we adapted our Golden Moor Library, and this is a picture of the actual furniture that was purchased for there. This is special furniture that breaks down, the tables tilt, they stack together, and this allows the branch manager and the staff at the library to clear the room so that in the morning we can have a Head Start story time. Then the seniors will be there from 11 to 3:30, and when they're finished, we can then rearrange the room for the teens to come in the afternoon. So I'm very proud of this project, and I believe they're also going to be doing Meals on Wheels out of the library meeting room, and we're very happy to partner with that group. We addressed a lot of safety concerns at the branches. We had 3 locked fire exit doors at Tisdale, 2 of them in the teen center. So we immediately got push bar doors in there, and we're doing regular inspections to make sure that we don't ever have locked fire doors. We've had unsafe entrance doors in Eudora Welty. Don't have many people in wheelchairs or on walkers come through those doors because they're just scary. So we've worked with a company, and we should have those replaced in the next 3 weeks, we hope. I found in my inspection that there were lots of electrical closets that people had put books and papers in. That was pretty universal in all the branches, so we're working on getting all those cleaned out. And a lot of out-of-date fire extinguishers have been updated as well. Liability issues have been addressed as well. we had an amazingly high amount of workers' comp cases. In fact, it was almost impossible. We had 39 firms we asked to bid on workers' comp, and we only got one bid. So I put a new policy in place that says that we have to be very careful about who's lifting things, and we worked with our workers' comp insurance company to make sure that number is going to be going down rapidly. We also have asked Charlotte Moen to work with me on a comprehensive safety plan. I found out that there were no evacuation routes posted in the libraries and that they haven't had fire drills in quite a while, like 6 years. And so she's going to be working with me to put those safety drills in place and make sure that the evacuation routes are posted in all libraries. We also had a shooter in the library training session for our staff, and one would like to think that it couldn't happen in a library, but if it's happening at malls and everywhere else, I think we have to be prepared. So we're trying to give our staff instructions on what to do and also what to do in the event of fires and tornadoes at the library. We've been developing renovation, repair, and refurbishment plans for our 3 libraries that need it the most, which are Richard Wright, Charles Tisdale, and Eudora Welty. Eudora Welty is 28 years since they put the furniture in the building, and the building is really dilapidated. The furniture is so low that most senior adults can't get out of it. Once they get in the chair, they can't get up. Our children's area there has no furniture for children. All the furniture is for adults. And in general, the building just really needs to be refurbished. And here's some circulation figures about how our circulation has dropped dramatically at Eudora Welty Library. It was 104,000 in 2003, and this past year it dropped to 53,000. And we have to look. We have a lot of people who are just missing, that are no longer coming to Eudora Welty. We certainly haven't seen anyone in wheelchairs. The blind and hearing impaired are not there because our buildings are not ADA compliant. We're not seeing young families with children, toddlers, and juveniles have pretty much dropped off. About all we get are daycare centers now coming in for story time. We have no teen area, no place for teens and tweens. The senior adults and elderly population has dropped dramatically. And we're just not getting many adults who are living and working downtown coming into Welty Library. So we do have a plan, and the library board will be addressing that this next board meeting on Wednesday. And I did want you to know that we do serve the homeless. It's something I take very seriously. My husband is a minister, and when we were in seminary in New Orleans, we regularly volunteered at the Brantley Center. I really care about the homeless, and the library does serve their needs. And anybody that tells you that the homeless can be barred from a public library does not know library law. They cannot be barred from a public library. In the library that you have, which you can be very proud of, we have a conduct code that is not based on a person's appearance in any way. Unless you do something that's on our list of things that are unacceptable, such as smoking in the building, or if you're inebriated in the building, you're welcome to stay. We do not have a policy at all that would ever exclude the homeless, nor would it be legal. In fact, this past December, at my invitation, the library staff voluntarily contributed over 100 items of glove, hats, shoes, coats to the Gateway Mission for the Homeless. And we donated a large amount of food from staff training dinner to Grace Place. So we take our responsibility to serve the homeless pretty seriously. We do offer an employment lab for anyone who needs help finding a job, and we have several homeless people who have found jobs as a result. We offer hot coffee on cold mornings, and even have a movie matinee that we have planned largely for adults who have a lot of time on their hands. And I just wanted to end by saying that I don't agree with the person who was here who said that public libraries are just for one group of people. If you have a laptop or a computer at home, great. That doesn't mean that you don't want to participate in the public library system, because tax money that supports the public library is contributed by every social class, every type of person. And every person who gives tax money should have the right to expect that there's something in the library system to serve them. Every library customer deserves a clean, up-to-date public library that has comfortable seating and it has library materials that have appeal to every age group and interest. So we're working hard at the library to make sure that everybody's welcome and that we are staying absolutely up to date, that our buildings are put in good order, that you're not going to be faced with liability suits. Because after all, the buildings do belong to you. And if someone's injured in the library building that belongs to the county, then you will be sued. So I'm working very hard to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Thank you, Mrs. For your information that you've given us, Supervisor Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Furr, in terms of this new furniture, are we following the bid process?
Well, library furniture is actually available only from 2 different vendors in the state. Glenn Norton Associates and Library Interiors. We do have library state contract prices. Yes, we have followed very carefully the bid process. If something is not on state contract, then it is bid out to 3 different sources. I'm very particular about state contract and about the bidding laws. I will tell you that library furniture is not like regular office furniture. Office furniture is made to last from between 5 and 10 years. Library grade furniture is more expensive, but we expect it to last 25 to 30 years. So it is more expensive. It's only available through certain companies. And also, I'll tell you that Library Interiors, the company that we use, they were paid $10,000 by the city of Jackson to take the Sears store and turn it into a library. And they worked for every single other library director that's been with Jackson Hinds Library System. So they're a supplier that's well known and well respected. Every other library, public library and academic library in the area uses them. One of the reasons is they can give us design services such as changing the layouts, maintaining ADA compliance, and those design features are very important. So we're looking at a completely different space needs plan for Welty Library, and largely it's with the help of a library designer from Library Interiors.
So the answer is yes, that we are following it.
Oh, yes, always.
Secondly, you did come from Hancock County, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you get a recommendation from Hancock County?
Did I what?
Did we get a recommendation from Hancock County?
I don't know that the library board ever asked for one. I did have a recommendation from from an alderman from the city of Waveland, and the board thought that was really kind of neat because they'd never seen a politician recommend a librarian before.
Did we get a recommendation from Hancock County? If so, can we get a copy of it?
And I was the chairman of the search committee, and we did.
Can we get a copy of it?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Supervisor Grant.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. My question deals with the satellite office at the Jackson Mall and possibly a satellite office at the Metro Center. Where are you in terms of planning or implementation as it relates to those 2 properties?
I hope to have the contract with the Metro Center Mall signed today. We're opening up a
Metro Center?
Metro Center Mall signed today. We're opening up a Friends of the Library bookstore location, and I hope that we can turn it into a full-scale library branch within the next 3 to 6 months. We feel like that it would be a good fit for the library because we would be attracting a lot more people to come to the mall. And the mall has a wide variety of people coming through that would enjoy using the computers and checking out books. So we're doing feasibility studies. We're also looking at the feasibility of transferring the Fannie Lou Hamer branch, which is in the Golden Age Retirement Center, to the Jackson Medical Mall. I met with the folks at the Medical Mall twice now and looked at a space there. The Golden Key Retirement Center, the library is so small and we're really limited. We can't offer evening or Saturday hours there, and it's difficult for families to get in. So we think that the Jackson Medical Mall and the folks at the Medical Mall are pretty happy about the idea that we could perhaps move the branch there. I hope it works out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for presenting the information.
Thank you.
Administrator Davis.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a budget amendments being presented to the board from the Lewis Budget and Finance Board.
Ms. Woods, it is still morning.
Good morning, Supervisor McCray and members of the board.
Morning.
Today, I would like your approval on the budget amendments. These amendments represent the parliamentary request to transfer funds based on the estimations provided with each amendment in compliance with GASB 34. There are two amendments that affect the general fund's unappropriated surplus totaling $37,142.58. The first of these is the constable's vest, which was previously approved by the board for $1,920. This is the additional amount needed to bring the vest amount up to $5,000 for their budget. The second is a tax collector's group insurance for $35,222.58, and this is the after the enrollment of the group insurance. There were several members who enrolled in it that weren't previously enrolled in it, and we'll have to amend this budget for this amount.
I have a question, Mr. President.
Question, Supervisor Graham?
Yes, Mr. Woods, did the constables ever give you a type vest or an estimated cost?
They did work with Ms. House in purchasing, and the estimated cost is roughly $900+. It was close to $1,000. So she was the one who they worked directly with.
Do you know which brand of vest?
I do not. I would have to check purchasing to get the exact brand and exact dollar amount.
Okay. Was that sent to the board?
I'm not
What's
certain.
the type of vest?
Yes.
No, it was not.
No.
I can get you that information.
Okay, so we're buying something we don't know what we're buying so far. So we are buying a vest.
They provided the type of vest to the purchasing department and gave us the estimated cost, and so that's why they came back requesting the additional funds for the type of vest. But we will get the particular vest.
Okay, but just make sure everyone up here knows what type it is, because I'm just interested as to what type we're actually getting.
Okay.
Do we need to roll that out?
What is,
No, we're good.
I mean, yeah, they're the ones that's recommending it, so I guess they must.
Yeah.
What is pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next.
That concludes the items of the county administrator. There are 3 submitted searches. However, no action is required by the board.
Nothing with the EOC. Next would be board attorney. Peter Taterson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First matter we'd like to take up this morning is item number 1, tax collector agreements. I have spoken with the tax collector. We're sorting through this issue. Both Supervisor Stokes and Supervisor Greer raised some concern about the tax collector's letter to various incorporated areas. We have followed every interlocal agreement. We've been discussing this matter with Mr. Fair. He had chosen a deadline of February 1st. There's no state law or other mandate that is a deadline, and Mr. Fair has agreed to continue working with us to sort through this issue. He's relying on some opinions, AG opinions and statutes. We've pulled some other ones, and I think we'll be able to get this sorted through and bring back a recommendation to the board.
At the next meeting?
Yes.
And for the record, Supervisor McCord also, because I've gotten phone calls as well.
And I've talked with every incorporated area that had an attorney. I've talked with their attorney as well and assured them that they would not be cut off arbitrarily on February 1st. So we're sorting through that, and we'll have a recommendation at the next meeting. Item number 2, previously this board designated Supervisor Calhoun and Supervisor Greer as I forget what the exact term is, but it was a legislative liaison committee. And last week, Supervisor Calhoun and Supervisor Greer asked me to draft a resolution to submit to the legislature requesting funding to help with our adult detention center in Raymond. And that resolution was in fact drafted last week, and we need a motion to approve submitting that resolution to the legislature.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Any questions?
I have a question for Supervisor Greer. Mr. President, do we need, or is there a time limit that you would like to have those particular items in?
That particular item needed a 15th
deadline to get in the system. So basically what we're doing today is ratifying.
Okay, what about the other issues? Do you need a time frame to have those into you by that particular date?
The other two issues that we brought forward were also due on the 15th.
Okay.
But we can get that done at the next meeting.
Okay.
This
Are
week.
you requesting to add additional?
Right.
I think we missed it.
We missed the deadline of the 15th
Okay.
was to get legislation moving, or to get the idea in the hopper. And so the bills have already been drafted.
Is it all appropriation bills or?
This one is an appropriation.
Okay,
This
all
one,
right.
basically what we've done is we've requested $1 million from the state for use at the detention center. And this is an appropriation.
Okay.
While we were at the supervisors conference, that's when it came up that that line was coming up on the 15th.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah. And I'd like to say thank you to Supervisor Calvin for her leadership in helping with this stuff.
We have
We have a motion ready. Yeah, we have a motion and a second. We're ready for a vote.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Number 3, there are no tax abatement exemptions refund requests that we need to address today. There is an other tax matter involving the CMMC, but I will bring that up at a different time, either executive session today or otherwise with the board. Number 4 is the Henley Young consent decree. The consent decree that was previously entered by Hinds County pertaining to Henley Young expires in 2 months. I would like to briefly address the board in executive session with respect to a proposed course of action. That is, of course, ongoing litigation governed by a consent decree, and we need to take that up in executive session. The next 2 matters, Retro Metro LLC and the Western Hotel, both development matters that also need to be taken up in executive session. And then finally, we have a matter with respect to the annual display of the wagon trail that comes in with the rodeo at Parham Bridges Park. I would recommend that we allow, they've used the park for years, and I would recommend again that you vote this year to allow this group, which used it in years past, to use the park over a 3-year period with respect to the wagon trail.
So,
It has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Now, Peter, let me just ask you before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Do you have paperwork associated with CMMC that we're going to get in the executive session?
There is a letter that we received last week that we can distribute, and yesterday there was a 78-page merger agreement that was provided to us. That only came at our request. As soon as we got the letter last Thursday, we asked on Friday for that. We're not prepared to recommend that anyone go forward, but we'd like to brief you with respect to the status.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, Public Works Director, Mr. Carl Fritz.
Good morning, Mr. President, other board members.
Morning.
First item I have approval of the waste pro request for annual adjustment of disposal rates by the Consumer Price Index for the residential refuse collection disposal contract effective February 1st of 2014. Increase will be 11 cents per household. That comes to $10.57 per unit. This is based on the section 13.02 modification of rates within the contract.
So,
It has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next item is request approval of the Barn Pit Corridor right-of-way acquisition service supplemental agreement number 3 between Hinds County and WEI/IMS. This will transfer $140,500 from basic services to hourly services to extend hourly services date to September 31st, 2014.
Question. It says transfer. They're transferring from where to?
In the same contract. It's just one section to another.
So it's not any funds, additional funds.
It's not asked for an additional funds.
Question, Mr. President.
Supervisor Brown.
Who's requesting that transfer?
Wagner and IMS.
Who is Wagner? IMS? Or is it individual or just?
It's Rod Hill and the Vice President of Wagner.
Okay.
What is the pleasure of the board?
So,
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We will next have the Honorable Lady Jean Carter.
Still more.
Mr. President, can I vote against Mr. Frida's items, please?
I'm just joking. Mr. President, we'll bring up the next meeting.
Scared him to death.
Good morning again, Mr. President, members of the board. We have 5 16th section lease items this morning. The first of those is a termination notice between the Hinds County Board of Education and James Green and Diane Green.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next is also a termination notice between the Hinds County Board of Education and Eric Myers.
Pleasure of the
So
board.
moved.
Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next is a lease agreement with the Hinds County School District and Kimberly Moore.
It's the pleasure of the board.
You want to know where that is?
Yes.
This is for Lot 17 Terry Park subdivision. My guess is that it is located at 212 Terry Brook Drive, Terry, Mississippi.
And what is it, one more time?
This is a 16th section lease agreement between the Hinds County School District and Kimberly Moore.
So.
Second.
It has been approved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And the last one, I'm sorry, wasn't 5, it was 4, is a lease between the Hinds County Board of Education and Gulf Southern Pipeline LP.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We have orders canceling tax sale, authorizing refund, reassessment changes to the assessment roll, and surrender tax for December 2013 for your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We have an order approving the addition and deletion of the supplemental roll for homestead exemption for the year 2013.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
We request that you approve and appoint Eddie Jean Carr, Chancery Clerk, to perform all homestead exemption duties for 2014.
So moved.
Second.
And moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And we request to re-advertise for proceedings of the board for 2014-2015. Believe it or not, we advertised this in the Advocate, and they didn't even respond. So we need to re-advertise so that we can publish your proceedings.
So moved. Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We have minute insertions as listed on your agenda. No action is required on your part.
Thank you. At this time, we will consider the matter of going into executive session.
So.
Mr. President, before we go, now, I know we did get a price from the Jackson Advocate. Is this something different?
They are for the legal publication. This is another advertisement for the board's proceedings. So we did not receive any. And we just want to re-advertise the proceedings of the board, yes, sir. So we would just be requesting to re-advertise so that can just remind folks again that we are.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion to go into executive session and a second. All in favor, you sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Now we have requesting a motion for the clerk.
So moved.
We have a motion for the purpose of.
I have 5 matters that have been noted today. But first of all, the sheriff has requested to go in to executive session to discuss the adult detention center. Of course, that's subject to the ongoing grand jury report, investigation, and various litigation. I don't know whether there's still a desire to go and discuss the radio or site maintenance agreements. Supervisor McWhorter, you had requested that earlier. I understand there was a vote while I had stepped out.
No, I don't have to discuss it.
We'll cross that one off. The next matter would be the Henley Young consent decree that I addressed. Again, that's ongoing litigation, and I would advise that we discuss that as a strategy session in closed session. The Retro Metro LLC and the Western projects are both development projects, and we have authority under 25-41-7 subsections J and G with respect to those two matters to discuss those in closed session, as they are development projects and involve the purchase or acquisition of lands. And I would suggest that we go in then to discuss those four matters: Adult Detention Center, Henry Young, Retro Metro, and West.
Peter, are you going to include CMMC?
Let me defer to Supervisor Calhoun. You had that on here. Would we like to? Yes, we will also have CMMC.
Byron Clean Quarter. We also have on the agenda the Byron Clean Quarter.
Okay.
Potential litigation. We have a motion for the purpose of.
Second.
Moved properly second. All in favor of?
Aye.